Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a really interesting plunge into a standard that, well, might sound a bit niche, but it's actually reshaping the competitive landscape for office furniture in India. We're
Nice,
talking
yeah.
about the BIS standard IS 18633.2, specifically for office desks and tables.
Hmm.
So if you're involved in the furniture industry, maybe as a manufacturer, importer, supplier, this is really for you. We want this deep dive to be a kind of shortcut, to
Yeah.
get you properly informed, maybe uncover some insights you hadn't considered. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, our mission really clarity, a clear, concise understanding of what is actually a critical standard. We're not just, reading definitions. We want you to really grasp the key bits: safety, strength, durability, and importantly, what this means commercially for your business, your market access.
Right, that commercial angle is key.
This knowledge, honestly, it can give you a real edge.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. What exactly is IS 18633.2022? Well, it's the official Indian standard, set by the Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS. And it lays out the requirements for safety, strength, durability for office desks and tables. The 2022 just means it's the latest version, right?
That's right, the current iteration. And it's remarkably comprehensive. It covers a whole spectrum of furniture you'd see in an office. Think executive desks, yes, but also workstations, computer tables,
Modular stuff, too.
absolutely all types of modular office desks. The main goal, at its core, is pretty straightforward, making sure the product is safe for you to use every day,
Hmm.
and strong enough, to handle normal use without problems, and free from defects, manufacturing flaws that could, well, compromise it or cause it to fail early.
So it's about building in that reliability from the start.
Exactly, from the ground up.
Okay, now, the big question, why? I mean, we're talking desks and tables. Why is a standard like this so important? Not just helpful, but, vital. What happens if it's ignored? This is where it gets really interesting.
Oh, it's fundamental. It really is.
Yeah.
It affects everything from, like you said, individual user safety right through to a company's bottom line. First off, it's directly about keeping users safe and ensuring some level of ergonomic comfort.
Right, nobody wants a wobbly desk.
Exactly. Imagine a desk collapsing or one with sharp edges. This standard is designed specifically to prevent that kind of failure or injury.
Makes sense.
But then there's the regulatory side. For certain categories, it's actually mandatory under the BIS Compulsory Registration Scheme, the CRS scheme.
Mandatory. So not optional for everyone.
For specific product categories covered, yes, it's mandatory, meaning certain desks and tables must meet these quality and safety levels before they can even be legally sold in India.
Wow, okay.
And think about big contracts. If you want to supply to the government or large corporate offices, well, compliance with IS 17633 is pretty much always a non-negotiable requirement.
So it's a barrier to entry if you're not compliant.
It certainly can be.
Yeah.
Ultimately, adhering to this standard, it isn't just ticking a box. It's about minimizing your liability, building trust with your customers, and frankly, reducing costly returns and warranty issues later on. That's the real commercial driver behind it all.
That definitely puts it in perspective. It's not just red tape.
Not at all.
Okay, so for manufacturers listening, the practical question is, how do you prove your desk meets these standards? What are the key tests? What does IS 7633 actually check for?
What's fascinating here is how practical these tests are. They're really designed to mimic real-world use and potential stresses. So, for example, there's the static load test. Now, this isn't just about piling weights on. It checks the desk's strength under a steady load. It targets specific points to make sure it won't buckle under just, everyday pressures.
Okay, steady load. What else?
Then there's the stability test. Absolutely crucial. This is about preventing tipping.
The wobbly desk problem again.
Precisely. Especially if the load isn't even or if someone leans heavily on one side. Then you've got the durability test. This one simulates years of use. Repeated actions like opening drawers, sliding things across the surface, general wear and tear. How does it hold up over time?
So like accelerated aging?
Kind of, yeah. And finally, the impact and drop test. This checks how it handles rough treatment. Accidental bumps, knocks. Can it survive those without falling apart?
Those sound pretty thorough, like they're really trying to replicate years of office life.
They are.
I think we've all experienced that wobbly desk moment, maybe spilled coffee because of it. So knowing there's a specific stability test, that's actually quite reassuring. Does the standard look at anything beyond just the structure, like the material?
Oh, absolutely. It definitely goes beyond just the structural bits. The standard dives into material and finish requirements too, And this is really important for preventing common problems. Things like rust on metal parts or excessive wear on the finish, even splinters from wooden edges.
Ah, splinters, yes, not ideal.
Not ideal at all. These details, they seem small, but they massively impact the lifespan, the safety, and just a general user experience. Plus, it also specifies design aspects, things like dimensions, height ranges for better ergonomics.
Who considers comfort, too?
Yes, ergonomic comfort is definitely part of it, and even things like the curvature of edge radii, rounded edges.
Seems like a tiny detail. Why is that important?
Well, it's key for comfort and safety. Prevents snagging clothes, reduces scrapes if you bump into it. It's these kinds of thoughtful details that make a product not just functional, but actually safe and, well, pleasant to use long term. Adds real ergonomic value.
Okay, so with all these checks, all these safety features, it's clear the standard packs a punch, but let's get specific. Who exactly needs BIS certification for IS 13633.2022? Who finds this non-negotiable for regulatory compliance?
Right, this raises an important question, because for certain groups, it's absolutely mandatory. Market access depends on it. So first up, manufacturers based right here in India producing office furniture. They need it.
Okay, domestic manufacturing.
Then foreign exporters. Anyone wanting to bring their office desks and tables into the Indian market, they need this certification.
Makes sense. What about suppliers?
Yes. Suppliers bidding on contracts, especially those big government or corporate tenders we mentioned, they'll almost certainly need to show proof of certification.
Right, for the big buyers.
And finally, brand owners. Even if they don't manufacture themselves, if they import products made by OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, and sell under their own brand, they also need to ensure compliance.
So, quite a few players involved.
Definitely. For these groups, this isn't just a nice to have, it's a mandatory requirement. It directly affects whether they can legally operate and sell their products in India or win those major contracts.
Without it, they're essentially locked out.
Pretty much, for the regulated products or required contracts, yes.
That sounds like it could be a bit of a hurdle. Navigating all those tests, the paperwork, the regulatory side, especially if you're maybe new to the Indian market or a smaller business trying to scale up. So what does this all mean? How can businesses actually manage this process effectively? Is there help available?
Thankfully, yes. The process, while thorough, doesn't have to be overly burdensome. The source material we looked at points out that there's specific assistance available. Support designed to streamline the whole journey.
Like what kind of support?
Well, practical things. Help with getting the lab testing set up and done correctly. Direct assistance with the actual BIS registration process. And guidance, which is often crucial, with all the documentation, filling out the applications properly.
Oh, the paperwork maze?
Exactly. Avoiding pitfalls there.
Yeah.
The whole idea is to provide a framework, really, to help manufacturers and suppliers get their products tested, certified, and compliant efficiently, so they can focus on, their main business, rather than getting totally bogged down in the compliance details.
Okay, so there are ways to navigate it without getting lost.
Yes, absolutely. And there's also support for the final steps, like follow-ups with BIS officials, making sure everything moves along smoothly.
Good to know. Okay, so let's try and summarize this deep dive then. The BIS standard IS 13633.2022 is, well, it's clearly critical. It ensures the safety, the strength, the overall quality of office furniture sold and used in India. And it's not just a suggestion. For many players, manufacturers here, exporters, suppliers for big contracts, it's mandatory. It sets a baseline for quality and safety that benefits the end user.
That's right.
And understanding those specific tests, static loads, stability, durability, impact, it really shows the rigor involved. It just highlights the value, I think, of understanding these details, these often overlooked standards that underpin the products we use every day.
Absolutely well put. And maybe, as a final thought for you listening, how might understanding the sort of intricacies of a standard like this one, IS 13633, change how you look at everyday products, not just furniture, but anything? What other hidden rules, what quality benchmarks might be shaping the things we interact with all the time, things that ensure they work, keep us safe, and build our trust, often completely behind the scenes. It's quite interesting to think about that broader impact, isn't it? The unseen work that goes into product reliability and ultimately our daily